Okay, you're on. Okay. Go ahead and call the Town of Shadeland Planning Committee meeting to order for August 26th, 2025. First thing on the agenda is the approval of minutes for the last meeting of March 25. And move for approval. Second. Okay, got a motion to approve and seconded. Any questions? If there aren't any, just need to, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Okay, next on the agenda is the mass green parcelization. We've got, is there a survey here, right?
I can read this one. There.
I have a big copy. I have two big copies. If anybody's interested in the big ones.
Go ahead and put your name
I can read it. So.
Yeah, so, you guys see that? Okay. Do we read that? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot to have that signed.
Basically, this is just a division of the property to allow for a secondary house on the property. There was some early discussion about how to go about dividing the property, and this seemed to work best for the property owner. And are you going to be the one building the house on the property then?
We're actually selling
Oh, you're
the lot, and so it's going to be sold October 3rd, and then so the new owners are going to have the two parcels if it's approved.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
you're selling the whole thing?
Yes.
Okay. So you're moving.
Well, I've got a question. This was part of Sadie Hawkins' tourism. I think there's already too many parcels been taken off of that property. Because I count 6 houses.
Did you look at the timing on those as to when that took place?
It was back in the mid 80s, as near as I could remember.
Oh, let's see. Which one was that? That's just down. What's the address again? Okay, yeah.
We're talking about that personalization.
Good Josh.
What?
This one, I thought it was done prior to the incorporation, but
I think it was done 2 months before incorporation, according to county record,
and it was legally done, right?
through Tippecanoe.
Yeah,
That's according to the property card,
right.
not going and digging through like recorded records or anything.
Right, and it looked to me like that falls into the criteria that allowed it to take place, because it was legally done.
Well, I know we approved, Shadeland approved how things were built on there. And was involved to a large extent on, and Glenn McGowan built a brick house across from Lindsay's. And we allowed them to have the horse barn in back, because his daughter lived in the horse barn.
Mm-hmm.
And we knew going in there was going to be 2 residences on that property.
So that one I think was done about a year and a half. This was just me digging through it the other day with Tim, but the one that has the horse barn was done like a year and a half later.
After incorporation.
It would be, because this was 2 months before. And again, this is just based off Beacon property cards. It's not going and pulling deeds and stuff like that from county records. But if you just go by the deed, the dates shown on the property card, this was done like 2 months before we incorporated in the white, the Pam and Don Whitehead did.
Right.
They split it off.
Right, and Don still owns the properties south of Lenses and Woods.
Yeah.
I think that's right.
Should we explain to the petitioner why we're even talking about this? I'm not sure she,
Well, yeah, she doesn't know what we're doing, yeah. I think we're just trying to find out if it's gonna be a legal subdivision of ground. I think that's the discussion.
Right, I
There
mean,
was, once the town incorporated, you were only allowed to have so many parcelizations for so many properties.
right,
And we think, I mean, based on what I looked at, and Josh looked up something different, you found a different location than I looked at the property records. You looked at the
Historical
actual-
property.
The historical
cards.
card, yeah.
Yeah.
And I came up with the same thing. Mine was, I think it was, dates were a month and a half or something before. And then you looked at the code and said that there was was it 1979 was a date that was really.
Our code says, quote, "A tract of land in existence on the 19th of November, 1979, or lawfully created after, can only be divided." So, I don't know.
And we believe that this was lawfully created.
Yeah, it was lawfully created. It was according to that property card. And again, I think you could, if somebody wants to be more thorough, we could actually go pull county records, because that would be more accurate than what's showing on a Beacon property card. But it's showing that this happened. This is showing this was filed on 6/29 of '84, and then recorded very shortly after that. So, yeah. And I believe, according to that same ordinance, that the incorporation was like August of '84. So, it's like right there, but I don't know. I do believe that the splits were maximized. So like the Whiteheads did the max amount of splits they could under Tippecanoe County
Right.
before we incorporated. So I also don't know how that plays in. Because I don't know.
Well, I count 6 houses,
Right.
not counting Whitehead for me.
Yeah, I think you're right. I'm not arguing that. I think the question is if this was done prior to that, this piece of property still has division rights. Now, it can't get 6 more divisions because it's not big enough.
Right.
But it can get 2 acre tracts, because 2 acres is minimum. So that's what I was looking at, trying to figure out if there's a way to, could it be done?
The question just becomes if it was maximized split under Tippecanoe County right before we were, or I guess it could be 10 years or 5 years, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter when.
Before we incorporated, it's a lawfully created tract when we incorporated. Does it become apparent?
Right, a parent tract that allows it.
I don't know, because the
Well-
code just says a lawfully created tract.
Yeah, and I think in the past, what we've been able to do is look at the date and say anything before that was a parent tract. Whether we looked at how it was created or not. Correct?
I don't know.
I mean, this,
And I mean, I just looking at the aerial, I mean, this is residential, right?
Right.
Okay, I really couldn't tell,
Yeah,
so.
it's definitely mostly all houses. There's very little farm ground around it. It's all kind of wooded. It's kind of this cluster. Well, I mean, even John's ground is, to the north there. So it's all kind of been,
So it would be staying in character of
It would,
what
right.
John, when was your house built?
My house?
Is that
January 80.
hey, so that's pre-incorporation. So what we're doing, what we're just recommending, but whatever decision we make is we're setting precedents, because now John could come back and say, I want to split and get another on my own,
Yeah.
even though it was split under Tippecanoe before. That's why I don't know if there's a clear answer, or if it's just going to be somebody making a decision.
Right. But I think we've done that in the past, though. That's what I'm saying. I'm sure we've let people that have,
That already split
That
under
was
Tippecanoe.
already-
Canoe.
right, who split, was able to divide, became a parent track. I mean, I had to go back and look, but I can recall, talking about it.
Is there a legal, issue if it's parcelized after the sale? Because it would be October if we're gonna have them, I mean, they did not comply with the 21 days, it was 20 days. So the sign for September,
Well, I mean, I don't know that it matters when it was, they could sell the ground and even the new owners could come back and do the same thing.
right, but I was just asking, since it will be an ownership change, is that gonna make a difference?
I don't think so.
Would the petitioner have to be both?
At this point,
Well,
they're
It'll be after
they're
the
the
sale.
title owners,
Yeah,
so.
so whoever the title owner is.
It'll be after the sale, so I just wanted to
Yeah.
make sure.
I mean, if they did it, if current owners did it now and then sold it in January, it would still apply to the new owners.
Right.
So
Right.
I don't know why it would, in my mind, why it would make a difference.
Yeah.
October, November, December, January, a year from now.
Just making
It
sure.
applies, yeah.
Our plan was to keep the property, to keep the 2.69 acres, but since we didn't try to parcelize 6 months ago. And it's a long process to get the survey.
Right.
It takes 2 months to get the survey.
Right.
And then
That's
then
fast.
I was
went
gonna
for
say,
meetings,
that's easy.
and then
I can't get them out there.
everything. So it just got pushed out, and then, so our intention was get the parcel listed, but that just did not happen, and then we wanted to just, sell 2 acres, but every prospective buyer said we want the full acreage, and there was no choice but to sell the whole thing, to sell it at all.
And the other thing I question is visibility getting out of there. Is there enough visibility to see that traffic coming from the
There's
south?
enough visibility, yeah.
Yeah, for a site distance?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that could be looked at.
The other thing I had on my notes for Tim is that it's right now it's presented, it's shown as a flag lot, which is prohibited. But I think that could be worked through it would either take a variance from code, or it would have to be redrawn as a driveway easement. But with the driveway easement, you get the same thing. So I don't know.
Yeah, the back width, the depth's more than twice the frontage width.
Correct.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of that has to do with where your setback is to, the setback technically would be on the back lot or, clear back in the lot, not at the road. So you can look at that too, but I know that's what we kind of, and I think about this and it's what I've done elsewhere, I guess. They look at the setback line as to where that is.
The code just says that the road frontage can't be,
Right.
the depth of the lot can't be more than double the road frontage.
Right, and we wrote that in when Chiglin Incorporated to try to get from the lot next to me, my sister bought. And it's only 160 feet wide, but it's 1,310 feet long. And you can't do anything with the back part of that property unless you farm it or run livestock. So we tried to get away from selling these long, narrow strips of ground where you don't have hardly any road frontage, and you've got development restrictions, because like my grandson owns that house now, and the way the setbacks are on there, there's no room really to add onto the house or anything because of that skinny 160-foot lot.
But we're really talking about a separate issue, right? I mean,
Well, but
we're talking about the parcelization. That's the issue for us.
Right.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying
I'm just
about
trying to give
that.
you some background on these,
Right.
not having enough frontage.
Right. But
Yeah.
that's going to be the future owner's problem if they want to do something with the property.
Yeah, you said
That's the way I have
wanted to
to
buy the whole thing,
Yeah.
regardless whether it's split.
This was a second offer, and the first one, they would not budge, but, not having the whole acreage.
Right.
And the same thing with the second, buyers too. Yeah.
So-
Well, again, all we do as a committee, and it worries me, Downey's awfully quiet over there, so that kind of, I don't know what's going on up there.
Should, so are the new owners buying the whole property, everything?
Yes.
So you're not, well, his property was, you're not keeping the
We wanted to keep it,
Yeah.
but every buyer,
right,
most of the buyers anyway,
right.
they want the 4.69 acres.
And
Our
that-
intention was to keep it. We
Right.
wanted to keep the
So you're selling it as a 4.66 acres,
6.9, yeah.
69.
Yeah.
So you don't need to have this thing split.
We do need it split, so it would be 2 acres where the house
Okay.
and everything is, and
Okay.
The buyers want it split still.
our intention was to split it. It just,
Yeah.
for Zoe to keep it for himself. But since the parcelization did not take place before trying to list it, we had like every purchase agreement said full acreage.
So,
Again, your job as a planning committee, you recommend, don't recommend, or, or leave it be. So that's really what, and then pass it on up to the council, so.
They also need a variance.
That's an issue for another day, isn't it? That's not part of
That
what
would
we're
be
dealing
actually a
with.
variance for our building permit.
Yeah, that's an issue for another day.
Oh, it's not an issue for the parcelization?
I don't see that it is.
Well, you're creating a lot that is, yeah, it's a variance, because our code says we can't create this lot.
None of these things came up when we first came. I
Right.
mean, we got it said like a 2 acres, 6 division, this was the 6th division, and now it's like a whole new thing. So, I mean, I don't know what's changed in the last 2 months. So rules
Well, I
have
guess all I'm
changed.
looking, if I just seen the actual petition, but we're talking about the parcelization. Whether they can use it or not in a way that the new owners want to, well, that's not what we're dealing with. The issue is here, and she parcelized it. I
Which
think
the
that,
code
And
says
the
no.
answer without a variance is no, because the code says you can't create this. It says you can't create a lot that's more than twice the road frontage.
So basically, she just has to request a variance at the same time as what Josh
That
was
makes-
saying.
makes sense. So the code says, I sent this, I have my notes, and there's no reason I know what it is, but section 4.6, paragraph B, section F, basically it prohibits a flag lot. It says that this width, the depth of this lot cannot be more than twice this width.
it's planning commission's decision. I think you're talking about parcelization, her future use or their future use, and whether it can be used for that is an issue for another day, in my opinion. But that's planning committee's
Yeah, I need
determination.
somebody to kind of make something to either,
Accept,
something
reject, or
to,
no
accept,
recommendation.
reject, or no recommendation to the council. For next-
I'm not in favor. I'll make a motion, we don't accept it. And either further review or just, does it without a variance or something to go with it. Doesn't meet our code.
So you're saying that they would have to come back and ask for a variance along with the parcelization?
Stu, I'd like you
Then
to
we'd have to vote
explain
on
though, like,
parcelization.
like if the parcelization says that when you divide, that this depth can't be more than double that width, what's that have to do with what it's gonna be used for?
I'm not sure I understand your question.
The parcelization process, it
Mhm.
says when you create the lot, that this depth can't be more than twice this width.
Well, again, I'm looking at the parcelization review process, and what you're citing is not in what I'm looking at.
Well, that doesn't have everything in it to do. That doesn't
Okay.
have all of it.
Well, yeah, I understand that, but this is the parcelization process. Now we're taking something else and putting it in the parcelization process.
Oh,
I understand. I understand. But again, I think Tim is correct. There's a motion to not accept or pass this along without with a negative recommendation. So that's on the floor right now. So it either needs to be a second or it dies for a lack of a second.
I think how the code is written that it has to have the variance. Procedures for parcelizations is chapter 4, section 4.6. And that's what it says.
So that sounded like a second to the motion.
I think that there's good case for this lot. I just think how the code is currently written would require the variance.
So from a planning committee standpoint, I feel like we need to give them some sort of direction. And that direction is, they want to do a parcelization. We're saying there's a possibility that we could go for a variance to allow this parcelization to occur. And that they would have to file for the parcelization with a variance request, is what I'm trying to,
If they want the lot as it's presented, then I think that they would then need to refile with the variance request, correct?
so that's what I want to make sure of, that we're communicating to them how to go about doing this, so that they don't have to come back again next month and get another set of rules to follow, because our code is not as good as what it should be. You got one area that says one thing and another is, we've been through this 100 times, so it's clear as mud. End of the day.
That may be kind,
Right.
clear as mud.
So, this is clearly a residential area. A lot of the rules that we've established have to do with farming and protecting farm ground. This is not farm ground.
No, I think that the use case is
Every
good.
lot, you look along 25, is way less than the depth. Way less than the depth. So, almost every lot in the town of Shadeland violates what we're asking them to do. So I want to make sure we're clear that we can tell her that what happens, what we go forward doing, she knows what to do.
There's nothing to file. Are you talking about posting a sign for variance and
Yeah,
parcelization?
basically, you'd have to post
And
a
then go
sign
to the
for,
town council, not come back to the planning
you'd have to
committee?
post a sign for the variance.
Did any of the neighbors bring forth any objection to the parcelization?
I have not seen it.
Not heard it. You haven't heard it, have you?
I have not, yeah.
I recommend we send it to the council, approve parcelization
Without a variance,
without a variance.
even though it's in contradiction to
I,
This should have come up 2 months ago. It's not, this was not a new rule. It was there, and then we got the green light to go do the survey and everything. It's just that none of this came
They
out.
were
This
kind of
was barely
ready
new.
to do this layout like it's set up.
So basically, we already approved it.
No, not really. It still has to go to council.
Well, yeah, but the planning committee already approved it.
Still has to go to council.
I'm fine with your recommendation. I think that it has to have a variance attached. I think that the use case is good. I think that having another house doesn't hurt. But
So you're saying there's no variance request or form or anything like that? It's just to stand up at a meeting and say, I want to get a variance, and we vote on it.
I think it has to be documented at some point. Huh?
We need to work on that too.
But I think that if it's going to pass as presented, when the council takes the recommendation, that they have to say that it's variance, because I think it doesn't fall.
We had a motion from John, and then we needed a second. So we either have a second or we don't have a second. And we can vote on that. Or we can, I don't know what direction we need to go at this point.
Well, if there's no second, then it dies for a lack of a second procedurally. So then you're free then to, again, this is all loosey-goosey because they're at this point, but if your petitioner was desiring to ask for the parcelization and then also to consider a variance, she could amend what she's requesting and ask the planning committee to consider that. And then again, it would be
Motion in a second.
motion and a second to accept, recommend, don't recommend, or no recommendation at all.
So you don't have to post anything for variance.
You do still have to have the posting and the variance.
But
the
that's-
Parcelization and the posting.
But that's for the council meeting.
Yeah.
Yes.
The council meeting is not for 2 weeks.
Yeah, but it's a 21-day posting, so it'll have to be October.
You want to reconsider with the variance if you need it?
I mean, I want it to be a parcel that's useful, so if there needs to be a variance, if, you know, like, we did what we followed.
Yep.
Yep.
You
did.
The directions,
You did.
we did everything that was asked.
Yep.
And then now, like, coming to a meeting and there's like, post a variance, you know, we posted a parcelization sign, like, I mean,
But you don't have any intent of building anything on that other lot.
no,
They
Okay.
sold it.
they're
So-
selling it.
So if somebody were to come by and you buy that or sell that property, technically the buyers are gonna have to come back for a variance.
Mhm.
I'm not so sure we can't do the parcelization per the requirements that were from a review standpoint. But I would agree with Stu that, you know, he may have to come back in front of them. I mean, if that new buyer wants to build on it, we're gonna say, yeah, you could build on this, but you're gonna have to get a variance.
It doesn't have to do with the building though, it has to do with the division of land. It's under division of land.
Okay, then she would have to do, if she were to say she wants the variance here, then we could make a motion on that variance.
But if you approve this, you're gonna approve the division of land. Which
That's-
contradicts
We're gonna
the
make,
process.
well, we're gonna make a recommendation to council
To approve the variance and the
to
parcelization.
approve it. Well, I'm just saying, I don't know what the recommendation is gonna be.
I'll make a recommendation that if she would like to add the variance, that it was approved, with a variance for it to be the flag lot.
So the
I'll also include in that recommendation, in that same section, it says that council has the right to, amend the timeline on a case-by-case basis, and that it's reduced to 20 days versus 21. So
But
that
there's
she,
no sign that says variance.
so it would have to be, so she has to put it up tomorrow. How many days is that? 19?
No, so it's the second Tuesday of October, so,
Well, September.
or September, okay.
That's the 9.
That's 2 weeks. But we've got to discuss the sign too. Because it can't be seen from the road.
Okay, I thought the sign was, it said 2x4 on that email. Did he not post a 2x4 sign or?
Can't read it.
It can't be read by us.
Okay,
It's got to be legible from the road.
okay.
You've got to be able to see it as you drive by, so your neighbors can see it.
Right, I know what you're saying.
Okay.
You have to
Sorry.
match.
I know what you're saying.
Yes.
I know what you're saying.
Yes.
I think what we're trying to do is, can we get it?
I think it's too small.
The font is too small, the board itself is, okay.
I don't know, I haven't measured it, but it appears to me that it's too small.
Okay,
So you seconded that, okay. So we have a motion and a second.
And the motion is to approve the variance and the parcelization.
Improve the variance of parcelization and reduce the time frame for the signs,
For just the variance sign.
for just the variance. So that she needs to make sure the
It
variance
needs
sign
to,
gets.
it needs to be both, because the other one was not 21 days.
So we just do, so both signs, just to be.
Is that what you guys want? You guys want to reduce your road signs, or you want to?
I think,
increase both?
I think David brings up a good point. Did any of the neighbors comment? Did they, yes or no? Did they
can't
see the sign?
They can't see.
So if they can't see the sign, maybe we ought to put it back up there for 2 weeks. And so that we've got it, so that people can see it out front. And then we'll have a council meeting.
And the mailing.
At least we'll have some people here that if they're against it, we'll know if they're against it for some reason.
Because the mailings went out, right?
There was no requirement for that. That's a zoning requirement. When you're rezoning, there's a requirement for certified mail, but there's no requirement for parcelization.
Again, nothing.
So there's a motion and a second, and now I think you need to vote on it.
Yeah. Okay, all those in favor say aye. All opposed? Aye. Okay, motion passes.
It's fast. I question whether there's no mailing, because we've made tie mail on every single one of those parcelations. Which is a council problem. Right. Not our problem.
Can we have a roll call vote?
I voted yes. I made the motion.
And David Downey voted yes.
Which order are you going?
I voted no.
I voted yes.
Thank you.
Just so I'm clear, the approval for parcelization and variance, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, so I need to put a sign, a different sign that can be visible from the road that says, notice for parcelization and variance, and the same, literature as before. Okay, all right,
And you should be at the meeting, the council meeting on the second Tuesday
yes,
of
yes.
September 2. Moving on.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Mills, Tree Road. On the 40 acres, is it correct, 40 acres on 175?
Thank you, sir.
I do not need one. I did my homework. I think Josh did some last one.
Oh, yeah, please. Last time I was here, we purchased that 40 acres, which is on the first sheet, from Irwin's. We've already put in a nursery there. We're using only 3.5 acres next year. We'll probably be moving it up to 15 or 20. We were trying to purchase the property of the old Kenrock place, and they backed out at the last minute. Took me in, we didn't even get them. They said a year before, they said no, they said yes, and all of a sudden, I'm just trying to get them to, hey, let's set a closing date, and they backed out. I think the problem, they wouldn't tell me why, but I think the problem was they were afraid of environmental issues that we might uncover in our process of putting up a building. So this is Plan B. Plan B would be to move our manufacturing business, recycling and extrusion from West Lafayette to this location. And we would look to carve off 5 acres. And that's roughly what you see right here on the back side of the property. South, I think that's the southwest corner, is it? Okay. And then if you look at the next page, that is possibly how the building would set and take. That box inside the box. That's about 25,000 square feet. It's actually 2 buildings, and if you look at the last page, you'll see basically how we want to structure it. At least that's what we're looking at right now. The orange section is the dock and the recycling. The next section, the blue, is extrusion processing. And then we're limited to 12,000 square feet for sprinkler system. Don't want to put one in. So we'll drive out the back of that building and go into the warehouse, and that's where shipping is. We are not a noisy business. I mean, you stand outside, you won't hear a thing. We're not as clean as we should be over at that place, because we ran out of room 5 years ago. I've been trying to do this for 5 years. Everything will be pretty much internal with this structure. We may have to put up another warehouse next to the 11,000 square foot warehouse in the future. I don't know if you know or not, but we recycle milk jugs from dairies in Indiana and other states. There would be on weekends 2 to 3 semis coming in from those dairies. We do that on Saturday and Sunday. You won't even know they're coming in. The other thing, we have standard shipping during the week. There'll be some semis coming in for LTL and UPS and FedEx. I know I'm not answering everything. I'm sure you'll have some questions.
I mean, John, you know the history of the property. Unfortunately, Rick Suter, when he put Bloomberry subdivision parcelization in, and the attorney for, who'd you buy the ground off of? Jim Irvin was here last year. And we explained this to him, that Suter took all the parcelization, all the development rights off this property and put them on Bloomberry. And there was supposed to be something recorded with that ground, with that 40 acres, that there was to be no building on that property. It was supposed to remain ag, because he took all the development rights and put them on Bloomberry.
But at this time, no one's allowing him to utilize any of those lots.
That's correct.
Okay. But I was also, when I was here last, somebody made the comment, and in talking to Irwin and researching it myself, I found that they're allowed to have one property, one homestead or something on that last 40 acres.
I think that's accurate for last year's conversation.
That was discussed at one point in time, but it was not really ever approved by the town council.
He's at council last year. It's in the minutes that they, from a long time ago, they approved one house site on the entire acreage. We went through it with the attorney. He came to a council meeting. So
Not my attorney.
Yeah, with whatever attorney was here at council.
Oh,
And they found it, they have it in minutes from
Okay.
a long time ago.
Okay.
But this is
not a homestead.
This is not a house anyways. This is an
No,
industrial
this
use.
is a commercial rezone.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'd have to do a variance and whatever else we have to do. But no one will even really know we're there. Because we make no noise at all. And we use nothing in our process that is hazardous. All the plastic we recycle is inert. It's polyethylene milk jugs. Everybody's got them in their house. We do a little bit of stretch film, same thing, saran wrap. Over where we're at, the county would come out and say, oh, you got your stuff, we're getting complaints, your stuff's all over. And I said, well, tell me where my stuff is. We have milk jugs, and they can't find any milk jugs. It's other people's stuff. We get people dropping stuff off constantly. So we're not a problem in the community. And we've been in that location for 30 years.
From a zoning standpoint, Josh?
Yeah, my opinion on the zoning standpoint is it would be very difficult for me to say that we could reclassify a piece of ground right here in the middle of a field, and then the next closest use would be housing to industrial.
I can't do housing on the property.
Yeah, but it's ag now. The surrounding of it is either ag or residential is what I'm saying. And it'd be very difficult
Is that it? I mean, you're in industrial now. Are you in?
Yeah.
Can you go anywhere else with your,
Well, I go to any industrial place.
but that's what I'm at, so you have to be an industrial use. because-
Yeah, we are ag industrial, for the best description of what we do, because we manufacture products for the reforestation, wildlife industries.
And that other piece you were looking at was probably industrial, one that they turned you down or whatever. Is that-
Oh, yeah, that was definitely
That'd be
industrial.
grandfather.
That other piece?
Kimbrell.
Yeah.
Yes, as a bridge.
I mean, the reason why, I mean, it's obvious, we'd like to keep both of our businesses together.
Yeah. I just can't. I don't think that I would be able to say that. And then maybe you're the best use ever for it. But what happens in 20 years when someone else wants to be an industrial user right there? I think that's a very difficult rezone. I also think that, and this is assumptions, but I also think that the housing people here, maybe even here, this farmer over here would probably not want industrial next to them, but they would get their chance to speak on that anyways. But again, maybe you bring in pictures of your facility and what you're doing, and it's a great use, and they're great on board for it. But what happens in 20 years, 25 years, 30 years when it's already industrial and the next user wants to use the building?
And this is actually 2 buildings, not 1, right?
Yeah, we want to keep,
And a potential third.
yeah.
It's your guys' opinion. He's not directly asking for the rezone yet. I think he's just presenting, but I think it's a really hard industrial rezone.
Traffic would be going out on 175, correct?
Yep. But we don't generate that much traffic.
2 or 3 semis a day. Is that what you said?
On the weekends, on Saturdays and Sundays, we bring in 2 to 3 semis spread over the 2-day period. And there would be, some LTL carriers coming in for some shipments going out, but I don't think it's any different than a farmer having moving his corn.
So you compare it to farmer, that's only in season. So, but this is year round.
Yes.
Have you guys been involved with the rezone, anybody? I haven't been involved in the rezone that I know of. What's the procedure?
I believe it has to be posted and mailed.
A request, and mailings to all the adjoiners?
Official request, posting, mailings, recommendation by this body, and then council decision.
And then it'd be,
Pretty much same as parcelization.
so you'd have there wouldn't be a division of land, you're just gonna rezone 5 acres of ground on one tract, you're saying?
That's up to them. Are you trying to purchase this piece, or you purchase it?
No, I already own it.
You already own the whole
I own the
thing.
40 acres.
You're not trying to divide this piece, though?
No, I don't.
So we just
I
need to rezone.
I happen to be the owner of the only property in the county that has 2 designations, industrial and retail. It wasn't me doing it, it was Chippewa County Council that did it, or the commissioners or whatever. I went to the meeting and I wanted to, I own the sports center on the west side. And I went to the meeting and they were afraid to rezone the entire 15 acres, so they left it. But then they didn't make me buy the property
So, yeah, so there's 2 different zones.
on the same property.
I run across that in a couple of areas, one other area on the north side. So, yeah, I'm just trying to give them guidance on how to go about doing a rezone. I don't know that, it would still have to probably be presented here.
You'd still have to have it surveyed off. You'd have to present the survey with an official request.
Surveyed off even though we're not changing.
Well,
We'd have to have a legal description of what you're trying to rezone.
Yeah, just a legal description of the rezoned area.
Yeah, which could be done, I guess,
Right.
without, so it could be done with aerials, but close. Depending if you
I
have a
mean,
survey of the whole
probably ought
piece.
to have an attorney draw it up, because I mean, there has to be a legal description that, a surveyor or an attorney does.
Yeah, I think a surveyor has to do it, but if he has a survey of the whole piece, they could probably do it without. But yeah, you would need a legal.
And the process for rezoning?
We can have it emailed to you.
Okay.
We can have the code sent to you, but it's a posting, a mailing, back to this body for recommendation, to council, and then a council decision.
So it would be again next month's meeting here, and then we would make a recommendation to the council to follow,
Is he looking to rezone just that one corner or the whole property?
just the 5 acres.
He doesn't need to parcelize or anything for that?
It's not typical,
Yeah.
but
So
it
you said
does
just-
happen.
Just the 5 acres. Are you saying you want to rezone the whole thing?
No, I'll do just the 5 if that's what you want.
I think Tom is going to be a hard sell either way. I agree. For the residents that live on our road, live on 170. I think it's going to be a hard sell.
But do we tell, I mean, we can't really say that he can't file, he can still
No,
file.
we can't say, no, we never.
So you can still file for a rezone.
Yeah.
If you want to try
But the
it,
thing is, it comes back, after we go through all that work, it comes back to here.
it does.
So,
And
And we would make a recommendation to the council. Now, that could be
Yeah.
like you heard earlier, it could be a yes recommendation, a no, and it could also be a no recommendation.
well, I don't want to go through all of this
Right.
if this group says no, it's going to say no.
Right.
So if you are willing, tell me now that, hey, we're not
I
willing
don't
to do
live in
this.
that area, but I mean, there are people that are more familiar with that area, and, the traffic, would certainly be a concern, I think, from, and, industrial, putting a spot zone is never a good idea. So from that standpoint, I'm not a big fan. If there was it's too bad you couldn't get that camera place. It would be nice to get that cleaned up.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
That'd be a perfect spot.
Oh, it would be.
I'd like to figure out how to get that thing taken care of, so I guess they keep paying their taxes.
Yeah.
But I'll just say, I mean, the committee can't sit there and say, oh, I would vote no on that. I'd vote yes.
Right,
We can't do that. That's,
Well, it's not a no or yeah,
Right.
it's a recommendation,
well.
because that's what the next step is. After I go
But there's
through all
nothing
this.
pending for the
Right.
committee to say yay or nay on. You can express opinions about
Right.
Right, that's all.
spot zoning and all that
I'll
kind of
give
thing.
you, I'll give you an example that happened like a year and a half ago or something. And this wasn't even manufacturing, it was somebody trying to breed dogs on the same road. And it was the most attended council meeting that I've ever been a part of.
Dogs would be more noisy than we
I'm
are.
just telling you,
It was packed.
it was packed, of people voicing their opinions
Really?
against.
But
Yeah.
this will be much, I just live south,
Yeah,
and I know the neighbors, it'll be much the same thing.
It'll be
I
the
just,
same.
want to tell you.
Yeah,
I'm
you
not
had a
sure-
few people when you did your parcelization, if I remember right, that showed up for your parcelization. So
Yeah.
people do come to meetings, that's for sure.
Right. But the fact that it's spot zoning, like Tim said, and you've got, technically, I don't know how long Suter will be around or what will happen to that north of you. But you got all those will be houses in there, and those of us that live there, I mean, there's a lot of neighbors that they're not gonna like.
yeah, I've talked to Sue. Is his, no, I'm not gonna ask that question. Okay, so the next question would be then, where in Shadeland would you guys,
Allow some industrial use.
Charlene had to show you the map, but there's some along 25 out here.
Is there?
Piper's Ground.
Oh, yeah.
But.
There's already been
We
designated-
incorporated, we set aside that along that rail corridor for industrial.
And to be honest, I would probably be more, even if it wasn't zoned, I'd be more apt to vote yes in a hypothetical like on 25, like a main drag for an industrial rezone without, if there was a spot that didn't have houses right next to it and you're on a state highway, I see that more as industrial use.
There's not many places on 25.
Like where Bellinger's was down there, that hydrovac guy got that.
Yeah, we went to GBB.
He had to do some things on that, clean that up. But all that along there it was on our map. It's somewhere.
Yeah, I do have the maps.
So if it is already designated as commercial,
Industrial. That's
industrial,
You know,
industrial,
that's
then
industrial.
then you don't have to post any variances, you don't have to do any of that, and there won't be a meeting where a bunch of people will come in and
Right.
say no.
I mean, you still gotta meet the building requirements.
Yeah, no, that's
Setbacks,
totally different.
but yeah.
Right. But to my knowledge, that's the only industrial area, and then where Kimrock is now, that's all Kimrock with grandfather.
The Kimrock is surrounded by 17 acres of railroad.
Yeah, which they don't.
So
Yeah,
is the railroad okay too?
It's industrial as well.
Okay. Because the railroad company said they'd probably lease it to me. But I can only get to it through Kimrock because the back way doesn't allow semis.
Oh, on the back road there, yeah.
Yeah, that's a tight road.
275, yeah.
I'd encourage you to explore that to see if Kemrock would give you an easement or sell you an easement. That's not what you want to hear, but
An ingress.
No, I'm perfectly fine with that.
yeah.
But I sent them another email here recently and didn't even get an answer back.
Yeah.
And it's their corporate attorney.
Yeah.
Who wanted to sell it to me, but somebody higher up told him no.
Damn attorney.
Those damn attorneys.
Always complicate things.
So it was 275 in Shadeland limited access trucks on there? Do we have,
Yeah.
do we
Well,
have
there's been-
275?
You know, they come off of 25 there and that, they torn up the guardrail back in there more than once. And that road is really tight. There's two,
Well, there's also all those apartment or mobile homes,
Yeah.
Yeah,
all
the trailer
that
park
other
back.
stuff.
and then when you cross the railroad tracks, when you come off 25 and after the second right-hand turn, that hump in the railroad tracks, unless they.
Well, you don't have to cross that.
Well, you don't have
The
to
access
cross
to the railroad is right before that.
Okay.
Because the piece to the east of the CSX is also zone industrial. And it's a 17 acre tract,
And there's a house on it.
probably, but it's industrial.
Okay.
The map he's referencing is on the website too.
On your guys'?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, good.
It's old.
I'll look at it tonight.
It is old.
It's really old.
Yeah. It's there.
Needs updated.
So if I found 5 acres just sitting out somewhere and there's nothing around it, you still wouldn't think it would happen.
Not in this area, but again, if it was,
I mean, let's say it's farmland.
I think location matters.
That's it, like, I don't know, I'll just throw out 500 West or something like that, where there's not a lot of houses. That's like the dog kennel thing down there. That guy could have found a place that was out, he wanted to put it right in a residential neighborhood with residences all around, but we don't have many places like that.
A lot of the ground around Ebonic is all Ebonic's all industrial.
Yeah.
So.
They own it all.
Yeah, ground around there. Some of it's ag, some of it's,
They probably don't want you digging around either.
and those they don't want you digging anything out. I'm just looking kind of at the old map here real quick, just to, like I said, those two pieces there on, where the Kimrock place is there. Where there's, 40 acres of industrial there. Looks like. But beyond that, it's mostly ag or residential.
Yeah.
You said there's some more on 25 somewhere?
He said that. He said
What did you say, on Edwards Farm?
Yeah, down here, old Reed Farm.
Which is, down on the corner at the curve.
curve, yeah, and then where Bellinger's was on the south, that should have been across on the south side of 25 where Bellinger's tree nursery was. Kohler zone.
I mean, this old map doesn't show it that way, but 97 map, which is also.
So you're saying that the old Bellinger tree farm is.
I think so, but that, I'd have to look at it. We did this stuff 40 years ago.
Our maps need updated.
Both sides of the railroad tracks, both on 25 side and the other side, going down, is that, or does that get into West Point's property? Because there's that ag chemical business down there.
That's it, that's past 500 west.
Yeah.
So that's how your guys' thing.
500 west is our west boundary line.
Okay. Yeah, because Sheets has 5 acres on the other side of the tracks, and I stopped at his house, left him a message that I'd never heard from him. But that's out of your guys' area, because that's 500, isn't it?
Well, yeah, sure.
I don't know, she's done a lot of stuff.
What's that?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, it's pretty limited. Current industrial zone, but I'm saying there could be some more along 25. Like you said, I think there's a possibility of something that may be more along 25. That you could possibly get, but again,
What about next to Dow?
here? It's all single family homes, isn't it, to the north, to the south? Yeah.
So it's an empty, it's,
Empty field, right?
what's his
Down the
name,
road.
Oh,
Basham.
Basham, yeah.
I think you have a stronger rezone opportunity there than you do here. So that's an opinion, not a.
Well, I mean, that's, actually, there's already businesses there.
That's why I think you have a stronger case than in the middle of a farm field.
All right, well, thank you, guys.
yep, thanks, Tom. Got questions, feel free to call us or email us.
I will.
Try to do what we can.
Thank you, Tom.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any questions from the committee or audience? Oh, yes, you're here about the container.
Yeah, it's a, one trip, it's, I'm bidding on one at auction right now, we got somebody lined up to pick it up.
So, I was looking at your property, and I just got a question for you. So, your property is 2140, is that right?
Yeah, it's right next door to the fire, Blue Roof.
Okay, so is there 2 houses on that property?
No.
What's the 2 buildings? One's a garage?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's,
So there are houses in the front, garage in the back, and then you got that slab behind that?
yes,
And that's where you were talking about putting that
yeah.
container, okay.
The slab's, 12 by 30, but I was wanting to try to get a 40 footer. But, you know, we could probably do something.
So Susan, right, Noble,
Short now.
yeah, okay, short, would like to put a container on her property to store, for storage,
Yes.
correct?
Yes, storage.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's allowed or not allowed. So we said for her to come to the plan committee. It's in our zone,
It's personal property, right?
personal property.
I don't think there's anything.
Residential.
Yeah, I'm not aware of an ordinance we have on.
I don't either.
Sheds
That's what
and
I
outbuildings
didn't think
at this
there
point.
was.
I don't think that there's anything that prohibits it.
How? The only thing I'm thinking about is how much open space is there and how much roof space is left.
I got 0.66
How much?
0.66 acres.
It wouldn't even count as roof space, though, because if you bought, it's the same as a
She's
pallet.
sitting
shed.
on top of the slab. She's already got a slab there.
Well,
So you're talking about runoff,
No, I'm just talking about,
impervious?
I'm talking about how much,
Green space versus.
how much green space versus,
Oh, I think she's way still more than most. I'm, man,
you're welcome.
just looking at it from a stand, I think she's got way more than like this particular property. Yeah. About 90% coverage.
Yeah.
And she's gonna be maybe 20% coverage at the most. So I don't know that I don't think that's an issue.
I just have trouble getting perspective.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is kind of what I'm looking at, just with a piece right behind her.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
building.
So will you be expanding the cement slab? Huh? Will you be expanding the cement slab then? Making it bigger? You said it was 30 feet, but you wanted a
I
40
don't know if
foot.
there's any.
Yeah, I was just gonna
There's no
put
electric
something in the
or
front,
storage.
some papers or something.
It's like bringing in a,
Big favor to hold that container thing up.
Yeah, it's only, well, the side's 30 foot, 12 by 30, and the, there's 8 by 40.
You know,
And
So
some
it's
people
gonna-
just put it on gravel, but
I don't have any experience with them, I just have seen people build, make houses out. You know, they start to stack them up.
I have a picture of the one I'm bidding on, right?
you know.
Is there
It's like brand new.
enough setback from her property? Because Dow has containers, and so does that guy next to the old Hollis house.
There's nothing prohibiting it,
Yeah.
as long as they meet it.
I do have a few small towns that have adopted ordinances about outbuildings and containers used as outbuildings and all that, but to my
Currently,
knowledge,
we don't have it.
we don't have anything in, that I've ever seen. I have never drafted one.
It's great.
Okay.
My family moved in with me, and they got storage places there, but hanging on them, it's just a mess.
I've even had some people where, in some small towns, people have been trying to live in. Now, that gets into a whole other issue.
Yeah.
So, don't do that.
You got 8 of them, and I don't
We're
know.
not aware of anything that requires a permit or anything for storage use.
Thank you, Ted.
Huh?
I do have a comment.
Yep, go ahead, John.
I don't know if anybody's paid any attention, but this fence over here along the trailer park,
Yep.
it's a mess.
We know the owner.
And it's falling, they tried to put that wind fence in behind that thing, and it's literally taking it down.
I think before my time, you did some battle.
We did.
Different owner.
Different, okay.
Same.
Was it? Sure.
Yeah.
Was it the same problem?
No, not the same problem,
Okay.
but we did some battling.
I'm
I think it was before my time.
I'm wondering if maybe our attorney can send a letter, because throughout my tenure, I have probably emailed, called, they temporarily fix it, and then it comes down again 2 months later, or something like that. They're not doing a permanent fix.
Well, this is up to council, but
Yeah.
you guys are on the council, so I just wanted to mention.
I think that, I don't know who you've spoken to.
John.
Jonathan. Jonathan is a super nice guy. That's what I know him as. That's here.
Well, how about this? I'll put it on my bring it up in 2 weeks list.
There you go, good idea.
Yeah.
We'll bring it up, we'll talk about it.
Yeah,
Same
I
thing
don't
with
think-
Mr. Reilly.
I think I have emailed or called or whatever at least 10 times since I started about that fence, just about.
So, on the Reilly property, about the signs,
Yes.
we made him take down the big wooden sign
Out front.
But I thought the 2 little signs above, one above each garage door.
I thought he could have one.
You can have 12 square inches, and those were well
Oh, it's
over,
a 12 by 12, it's like a 1 square foot.
yeah, 12 square inches.
So if 2 of them were half of that,
But they're not. Both of them are bigger.
I'll look the next time I go to town.
Did someone?
I'll bring that up on
They'll bring it up.
council meeting and, because again, we did battle with him. He filed suit. I forced him to do something, so.
I think it was one of the most successful campaigns that we've had, violations of it.
Even a blind dog finds an acorn every once in a while.
Sounds like my dad.
And it's the planning committee, if you want to look at regulation on sheds and outbuildings, yeah, I probably have one or two that I've done previously.
But everything that's already existing.
Grandfather did.
Grandfather did.
Yep.
Because the two biggest eyesores down my house.
Yeah.
We moved two of them in there. And just-
Yeah.
Adjourn?
Oh, yeah, we need a motion to adjourn.
I move we adjourn.
Second, all in favor, aye. Say aye.
I can't vote, but I vote aye.
Thanks, appreciate it.
Can't vote for shit.
Oh,
we got here to start.
That check,
It's
I start gassing my,
what's your check?
my beacon up on the screen so people can see what we're looking at.
Charles says
They can
we
see
need
what we're
to sign.
talking about.
Yeah,
Nobody really cares.
Good. You should, there's technology where you could just kind of point